How we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with the Comment Man, Corpus Christi, with some very fun information. So apparently last week was completely and totally wild in Australia and all across the world. This is the story we're going to get into here in a minute, but we've got some of these other tabs. This is scenes from France. As you can see on here, there is lots of wildness going on. There is lots of wild... Let me turn that... Sorry about that, guys. There's lots of wildness going on in France. They are fighting with the police. Things are going wild there. So yeah, these are the scenes from France. Let's see where this one is. This is Israel, where they are protesting outside against the green one. And then what do we got over here from Luke? Okay, this is New York City protests. So, all right, so let's check out this story real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about all the different protests that are going around. So CFMEU accuses its own members of being far-right Nazis. Okay, so now if you don't know much about Australia, the CFMEU is one of their labor unions down there. It represents a lot of construction workers, truck drivers, stuff like that. So here we go. Now this is from last week. Yeah, this is September 21st, so this is last week. So this is kind of the beginning to Australia's story. Yesterday, protests outside of CFMEU headquarters in Victoria marked a watershed moment for the union and the Labour Party. Remember, most of these guys support Labour, the Labour Party, which is kind of in Australia is kind of like the left party over there, comparable to the Democrats, but not quite. Thousands of construction workers rallied outside the CFMEU base demanding to see union boss John Setka after failing to protect members from Labor's mandatory vaccination order. And an extraordinary move, which what they were doing was they were going to require all of the construction workers to be vaccinated by like September 25th or something like that. So sometime this week or next week, or sometime this week. I know it was sometime in September. So, and then they ended up, yeah, it turned into a mess. So, but yeah, this is why the guys are mad. In an extraordinary move, the CFMEU released an official statement blaming the protests on a mob of far-right Nazis. It is instead of acknowledging the anger of thousands of CFMEU construction workers. The CFMEU condemns in the strongest possible terms the attacks on the CFMEU Victorian branch office and the mindless act of violence perpetrated by its members. So here you go. Here's the statement. CFMEU condemns in the strongest possible terms. The crowd was heavily infiltrated by neo-Nazis and other right-wing extremist groups, and it is clear that a minority of those who participated were actual union members. Okay, they're probably going to talk about this in a little while, but I've seen the video. These guys were all union members. The CFMEU turned the comment section off to prevent anyone questioning the accusations laid out in the media release, which condemns far-right extremist violence. In reality, video footage from the day shows that the vast majority were outraged union members. These are not the actions of people who care about their workmates in the construction industry, said the press release, making no mention of union members demanding Setka save their jobs. Starting from next week, any construction worker that has not begun the vaccination process will lose their job. So yeah, I was right, it's this week. Various union members demand to know what they paid their union fees for as Labor's health orders threaten their livelihoods. Setka repeatedly claimed he has never supported mandatory vaccination for union members. Whether or not he supports it personally, the CFMU, under Setka's direction, has done nothing to stop Labor leader Daniel Andrews' health orders from putting thousands of union members' jobs at risk. This verbal scuffle over mandatory vaccinations resulted in the crowd chanting, "Dan Andrews!" Negative word for a female dog. At Setka, drowning out his attempts to calm them. The confrontation started badly with Setka's off-sider flipping an "up yours" V sign as he stepped out of the building to address the crowd. Tensions escalated as Setka asked the crowd if they wanted him to shut the whole construction industry down, to which they replied, "Shut it down, shut it down." Then they called Setka a sellout and a scabber for allowing other construction workers to cross the picket line and take their jobs instead of standing up for the rights of all workers. Boy, there ain't nothing more than pisses off a hardcore union member than people letting scabs do shit. Oh, I was in a union. Yeah, no, those guys are not. That's not cool at all. Getting nowhere, Setka turned his back on the crowd and retreated into the building. This sparked the furious workers to throw water bottles and attempt to follow him into the CFMEU headquarters. Union officials were shown on camera viciously beating members of the crowd with the megaphone before the doors closed. The CFMEU has since changed its rhetoric of protecting its members' right to work and defending members' rights to work safely, allowing them to support Labor's mandatory vaccination plan. When your argument doesn't work, change the language. Cowards. On the weekend, police appeared in full riot gear to intimidate and arrest Freedom Day protesters, while Premier Daniel Andrews had public transport across Melbourne shut down. Shocking scenes emerged of Victoria police attacking journalists with pepper spray and shoving an elderly woman to the ground where a maskless cop sprayed her in the face at close range. If you haven't seen that video, you need to. That's what really got a lot of these guys up and going. A lot of these tradies. This time, police hung back even as nearly 1,000 people congregated outside the CFMEU headquarters in clear violation of standing health orders. Police conduct caused people to ask why they were observing a double standard for CFMEU union members, and action further undermines claims from political commentators later in the evening that these were far-right Nazi thugs. The police almost certainly would have engaged in the same heavy-handed policing seen against Freedom Day protesters if they were. Yeah, they didn't go in there and start beating on a bunch of union members. They didn't try that. Given these guys, these tradies are pretty big dudes. Australians are kind of tall as is, and these guys are jacked construction workers. Yeah, you're not going to go pick on them like some 70-year-old grandma you can throw on the ground and pepper spray. Despite the protests swelling as workers from nearby construction sites took their lunch breaks, arriving in their high-vis vests, boots, and hard hats, some commenters continued to cling to the idea that this was some kind of Yahtzee conspiracy. These commentators did not explain how a protest of this magnitude was originated while a dedicated social media task force was supposed to be monitoring fringe far-right accounts. That's funny. The bizarre accusations that CFMEU workers are far-right Nazis comes off as a desperate attempt by the embarrassed CFMEU to invalidate the grievances of their members. Unsurprisingly, the accusations further infuriated construction workers. They have vowed to picket the CFMEU headquarters every day until Setka does something about the health orders. Labor figures have stepped forward to defend the CFMEU's honor. Ex-Labor leader Bill Shorten called protesters professional troublemakers. This is a network of hard-right, man-baby Yahtzees, people who just wanted to cause trouble and complain about the vaccination, said Shorten. The accusation appears to be little more than a slur without any grounding in ideological reality. They deserve to get the full force of everything that's coming their way, Shorten continued. What's coming their way for union members refuse the vaccination is the queue at Centrelink. Bill Shorten slams guys. So yeah, so they tried forcing the vax onto a bunch of construction workers, and they basically told them to go get bent. These guys have been working out in this pandemic the entire time. Construction was one of the few things that was really kept going the entire time. All right, so let's check out some of these videos. So this is what got me excited, is because this is literally happening all over the country, or all over the world, right? So this is what's going on. Go check out Rebel News, by the way. He's got a really great interview from, like, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. It was like the second day of the protest that a lot of these guys were out there. He was out there when this incident happened. So go check out Rebel News on Rumble. They've got a really great, like, 8-10 minute whole video where he was there all day interviewing a lot of these construction workers, a lot of these union members, talking to them, asking them what their concerns were. I'll tell you what, I didn't see a single person that looked like any kind of neo-Yahtzee. Like, it's ridiculous. And yes, I'm trying to say Yahtzee because YouTube doesn't like the other word. So, but yeah, so this is what's going on. We'll pull Luke's stuff back up. So this is the scenes from France. They are fighting with the cops. They are very much adamantly against these vaccine passports that they're doing. But it seems like France is completely ignoring their people and just putting the boot down harder because France's parliament has still been going forward with all this garbage. This is what happens when you don't have your your pew-pews. This was Israel. Same kind of thing is happening. They're trying to force boosters on people in Israel as part of these green passports. So they have been out in the streets. This was from September 26th. And then let's see, what do we got here next from Luke? What do we got? This is okay, so this is New York City. So this is one of the things I wanted to talk about anyway, because New York City is kind of a funny kind of trip on this one, because these guys, oops, sorry. This started out, a lot of the Black Lives Matter groups really came out in opposition to these vaccine passports because a vast majority of, I think it's 18 to 40-year-olds, I think it was like 70% of them in New York City, are not vaccinated. And they give a lot of different reasons for that. Vaccines, up to you, personal choice, talk to your doctor, all that good stuff. But yeah, so you literally had Black Lives Matter started out and going with this, and I'll tell you right now, this doesn't look like a completely Black Lives Matter run protest anymore. This looks like a very nice variety of a mix of individuals. You've got Caucasians and Hispanics and blacks and everybody else in between going out, and they all same thing. My body, my choice. Medical freedom. So that's what's going on in New York. I thought that was really awesome. I wanted to highlight that. This is Australia. This is more of them. This was more of the abuse that the Australians are currently suffering right now under their crazy fascism COVID lockdown. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. These cops are just going after people and just shoving them just for being on the street and out in public. It's absolutely insane. Let's see what else we've got here. More Australian police just absolutely beating the living hell out of people. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad in Australia. So stand with Australia. That was something I was trying to get trending the other day. And then this one is another one. This is Rome. Rome is also doing the exact same thing. And I like Steve's comment on here. If only there was a law-standing institution in Rome who had a legacy that could point people towards the light in times of darkness. If you don't get that, he's referring to the Catholic Church, which is based in Rome, if you didn't know that. Most of the people watching these videos probably do know that. But yeah, so Rome's pissed too. So everybody's up in arms. The world is protesting this garbage. They are fighting back. They are pushing back. And that is one of the beautiful things that I wanted to highlight in this video. I wanted to show you that we are not alone. And I want all these people of all these other countries to know they are not alone either. We are watching. We see you. We pray for you. And we are standing with you. We warned everyone a year and a half ago that this is where this was going. And you didn't want to listen. And now you're dealing with the consequences of it. Well, better late than never. Welcome to the party. One of us. One of us. So come down, sit at the table, get you a glass of tea, a little wake-up juice, take this red pill, and come with us. We're going to show you a whole new world. So stand with these guys, share this video around, and make sure everybody knows that these people are not alone, that we stand with them. You know, share this with your friends. Let them realize that it's not just America that's trying to fight back. There's lots of other places that are trying to fight back against this overreach of government just because of an excuse for a disease, because of a virus, because of COVID. So their people are fighting back. They're pushing back, and it makes me very happy to see it. So check this out real quick if you guys want to support the store. I'm actually wearing one of our conservatarian t-shirts today. This is the one that Carrie Moore made for me. Super nice of her. So I kind of yanked the design. She gave it to me and let me put it on here. So I've got some stuff on here on a t-shirts. I've still got the Common Man one. So if you guys want to help support this channel and make this more of a full-time endeavor for me, go onto the website. The link will be in the description. Grab you a t-shirt and help out. So once again, we stand with Australia and we stand with every other country out there that is protesting this outrageous government overreach. This is Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi. Thanks, guys.